Okay, so today we're going to be looking at some petty revenges. I'm also planning on actually making an upload schedule and actually uploading. So if you do enjoy, please like and subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing and it would be so helpful. And let's get straight to it. Your $30 groceries just cost you $130. So just got back from my local grocery store. I had to grab a few things and walked over to a place that's close to where I live. Ran in, grabbed the stuff and was getting out. In and out, 20-minute adventure. I was waiting in line at the self-checkout, which wasn't very long, when I looked up to see a woman walking away with 2 bags, and a spot opens up. I turned the corner, put my basket down, and when I went to scan the first item, I noticed the screen already had 14 items scanned, waiting to be paid for. Instantly, I knew that prick who just walked away had scanned everything and just left with roughly $37 worth of stuff. I called over the attendant and said, "Hey, the person just before me left this till open like this and just left." "Oh, sorry," they replied, not really understanding that the stuff had just been stolen. Then, they tried to take my basket to go return the stuff I had just put down, thinking it was the previous person's items. No, sorry, this is my stuff. The person that left the till stole their items and took them. These 4 items are mine. "Oh no. Well, I'll just have to clear that for you. Sorry about that." As they're voiding the items on the screen, I noticed the thief had scanned a points card, had saved over 130,000 points, which was a little more than a $130 value, and her name was Melissa. So I asked for their receipt too. I walked over to customer service, explained what happened, and the guy was like, "Well, $37 isn't a huge loss, but I'll take care of her account and void all these points." This point card can be used at gas stations and Shoppers Drug Mart, and I know tons of women buy makeup and beauty products with the points, which Melissa doesn't have anymore. Next time, maybe pay for your groceries, dumbass. Yeah, it's just a bit of a scummy thing to do, really, isn't it? Just to take groceries and stuff. It could have been an accident, in all fairness, but it most likely wasn't. Revenge on 16-year-old son who spent all his money on weed. I wasn't a bad dad. He turned out pretty good. Journeyman electrician. Works at an F500 company. Anyway, he was 16, long time ago. He needed $30 for a school trip. I gave it to him several days in advance. The night before the school function, he told me he'd spent it and needed another $30. I finally forced it out of him that he had brought weed. I don't have a problem with that. If you put all the things I've smoked in a pile, it would be bigger than a house. But now he needed more money. So I said, "Okay, you go with me to the store and do what I ask, and I'll give you more money, and even throw in a little extra." He agreed, having pretty much no choice. I grabbed something out the kitchen on the way out. We went to Target, kind of an upscale joint around here for simple stuff. But before we get out of the car, I told him the deal. You have to wear a hat made of this aluminum foil, and you can't talk to anybody. If somebody says something, or asks you a question, just mumble, "I can't take it again, not like last time." He agreed. I made the hat, included a little point on the top and 2 flaps that covered his ears. I put a kind of tail at the back and it looked perfect. I walked around the store, and he had to stay at least 10 feet away so people wouldn't think we were together. I heard him mumble unintelligent stuff a few times as people stared and walked past. He never broke character. And we walked through nearly every section. Electronics, toys, men's and women's clothing, auto, pharmacy, food. It took nearly 45 minutes for me to grab the 3 things we went in for. I gave him the cart and enough money to pay for it and watched as he went through the line. When we got back to the car, I said screw it. He did a good job and gave him $50. For all wondering about how much damage his psyche experienced, he graduated with honors, became a licensed journeyman electrician, and is employed by a world-renowned company. This happened nearly 20 years ago. He now has 3 loving kids of his own. That's actually really wholesome. Like, I'm surprised his dad handled that in such a funny and, like, nice way, you know? The people at the shop, though, must have been so confused. Don't catch an attitude with someone when they're clearly trying to help you. This story is a point of pride for me. I'm 20 years old, so any way you spin it, my work experience isn't all too impressive, being half fast food. I also struggle a lot with health problems, though between chronic pain and mental illness, so working can be really taxing and my tolerance can get worn down at times. So I set the scene at my second job, working for a well-known fast food chain. I was shift leader by technicality, so I was trained on all the managerial tasks, and was responsible for a lot of work at once. I worked overnight, usually 10 to 6. The problem with our 24-hour restaurant is that it was one of the only 2 in the city, so weekends were hellish at best, especially after midnight. It's 1 in the morning, and it's shaping up to be a bad pain night for me. I feel sick. I'm having a hard time keeping up with everything. I'm just generally straight up not having a good time. I tell my supervisor I'm stepping away to go lay low in the stockroom for just a few minutes and see if I can collect myself. He was a really understanding guy, so he let me go. Problem is, this wasn't a level of pain within my grin and bear it limits. It took a while for me to be able to reel myself in back enough to function. And by the time I came back, my supervisor had switched my cash drawer to put in his name and take over. He sent me off with a very concerned "get some rest" and waved me toward the front to clock out. I'm not in a position to protest, so I walk up front. As I am approaching the register to clock out, I hear a woman raising hell to my friend who was working the front of the counter. The typical stuff. "I've been waiting X amount of time. What the hell is wrong with y'all? I just want my chicken strips." The works. Never mind the fact that we're clearly packed both inside and out, and our team was 5 people, not very many for how intense our rushes were. My friend, we'll call her Kara, is being pretty amicable about the whole thing, says she'll check on that right away. But the woman stops her and just demands a refund. I generally think of myself as a considerate person, and refunds take no time at all. So I close out of the clock out screen and switch to Kara's register to help her out since my supervisor would be occupied for some time, and he's the only other person who could take care of it. The woman is still going on about her chicken strips, and how ridiculous it is she had to wait 10 minutes, and I politely intercede with a "Yes ma'am, I can help you with that. Could I see your receipt real quick?" As I'm opening the manager screen, she steps off to retrieve it. I'm typing in the manager access code, and as she's approaching again, she directs her attention back to Kara while handing me the receipt. "I'm going to need your name real quick." Kara flashes her name tag and says it out loud, still being polite of course. I add, "You can also find it at the top of your receipt in case you forget." As I'm typing the order number, the woman hisses back that she wasn't talking to you. At this point, my finger is literally hovering over the refund button. Right there, I can press it, and Kara can count her change and she can be on her way. I, however, am already emotionally fried and didn't have the capacity to be any more forgiving than I already had been over something so stupid. She wanted to be snide? Fine. I slid the receipt under the body of the computer for safekeeping, cancelled the refund and told her, "Then you can wait for your goddamn refund." She starts protesting, saying stuff along the lines of, "Oh hell no, you're gonna give me my refund right now." But, as she was going on about it, I was already in the process of clocking out. I told Kara I'd see her tomorrow, took my time slip, and walked the hell out. I recall her saying something about terrible customer service as I left, but I didn't particularly care considering I had plenty of customers regularly compliment my service. Me going off isn't even the best part. See, I wasn't actually working the next night. I just spent a lot of my time off there so I could do some writing. I came in as usual and spent some time chatting with Kara, who was working at the counter. The lobby was pretty clear at the time, so I wasn't stressed about holding anyone up since I was the only customer. A few minutes into our conversation, we hear, "Oh god no." We turn, shock and awe. It's that flat-faced pain in the ass crone from the night prior. She saw us and immediately turned around, got in her truck and left. According to Kara, the woman ended up having to wait a considerable amount of time before getting her refund. I didn't see her anymore after that. Oh right, yeah, cause that dude was busy, the only other dude who could get her a refund, so, oh my, she must have had to, so she was complaining for waiting 10 minutes for food, but then ended up waiting longer for a refund. That's great. You get what you deserve. These are petty revenges. I've read some pro revenges, which are pretty amazing, but I don't know, these still manage to warm my heart just as much. Well, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. It makes me so happy, and I love every single one of you. Don't know why I just slammed my hand into my other hand, but I did. And yeah, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.